What is up, math superstars? In this edition of Mr. Peterson Presents, I'm bringing to you Objective 7.13b. This is all about how we evaluate expressions using replacement values. So in order to evaluate an expression, what we do is we replace the variable or variables with the known values, and then we simply use order of operations. So there's two things we're going to do. We're going to replace the variables with the values and then perform order of operations to evaluate the expression. So let's go ahead. We have our first example here. So we're going to evaluate x plus y minus 9 if x equals 15 and y equals 6. So here's the way this works. So we have x plus y minus 9. What we're going to do is we're going to replace x is 15, so we're going to do 15 plus, and our y is equal to 6. So plus 6, and then we're going to keep minus 9 the same. So right there, very first step is we replaced our variables with the known values, and now we're going to use order of operations to solve this. So we have 15 plus 6 is 21. Minus 9, and simplifying it all the way down, 21 minus 9 is equal to 12. All right, let's try out some examples here. So we have, for next examples, we're going to evaluate if k is equal to 2, m is equal to 7, and n is equal to 4. So what we have is here, our first one is we have 6m minus 3k. So let's go ahead and fill in what m and k represent here. So we're going to do 6, and since there's no operation sign in between 6 and the letter m, we know that's multiplication. So we have 6 times 7 minus 3 times k is 2. So right now we've replaced all of the variables for their appropriate values. And now we're going to perform order of operations here. So we're going to multiply first. So we have 42 minus, and then 3 times 2 is 6. And then we just have subtraction left. So when we subtract 42 minus 6, gives us our total of 36 after we replaced the variables with the values. So here we have m times n all over 2. So let's go ahead. Our very first step is we're going to fill in the values of m and n. So for m is 7. We know this we're multiplying, so m times n. So n is 4, and this is all over 2. So let's go ahead and simplify our numerator. So 7 times 4 is 28 over 2. And when we simplify that, 2 goes into 28 14 times. So we can say simplified m times n over 2 with our values for our variables comes out to 14. Last and certainly not least, we have question number 3 here for these values. So let's go ahead and fill in all of the values for the variables. So m is equal to 7 plus, and then we have the absolute value of k minus 2m. So k is 2 minus 2 times 7. So let's go ahead and use our order of operations now. So let's do everything inside the absolute value bar first. So we have 2 minus 14. Bring down an absolute value bar and rewrite everything. It's a good habit because we don't want to miss any step by making a mental error. So let's go write it all down. So we have 2 minus 14 is minus 12, and we bring down our absolute value bars. So we keep on going now. So let's bring it on up here so you can see it. You can keep writing straight down your page though. So we're going to do the absolute value of negative 12 next. So we have 7 plus 12. And then when we simplify that, 7 plus 12 gives us 19. So for 4, 5, and 6, we're going to use these values. A is equal to negative 5, B is equal to 3, C is equal to negative 4. So let's go ahead and work this out. So first step is we're going to fill in the values for A and B in 6A minus 4B. So we have 6 times our value for A is negative 5 minus 4 times our value for B is 3. And let's go ahead and do our order of operations. So 6 times negative 5 will give us negative 30 minus 4 times 3 gives us 12. So now we need to subtract these values here. So when we subtract these, what we're doing is we're going to add the opposite. So we're going to use our subtraction of integer rules here. Do negative 30. Now we can do plus a negative 12. Will give us negative 42 is our answer. So here we have question number 5. We have in parentheses C plus A all over negative B. Let's go and fill in these values here. So we have value for C is negative 4 plus negative 5 all over, and we have negative sign. We'll bring down our negative sign, and B is just 3. So now let's go ahead and solve for our numerator. Our numerator, negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9 all over negative 3. And so when we go ahead and divide these, so we know that negative 3 goes into negative 9 a total of 3 times. So positive 3 would be our answer for number 5. And last but not least, we have 5c plus, and in parentheses, a squared plus 4b. That was the end of the parentheses, minus 15. So let's go ahead and fill in our values. So for c, we have 5 times negative 4 plus, we have a squared, so we have negative 5, put those in parentheses, squared, plus 4 times 3, and that's all the parentheses right there, minus 15. So let's go ahead and use our order of operations here. So we're going to start inside the parentheses. So we have negative 5 squared is negative 5 times negative 5 would give us a positive 25 plus 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Let's go ahead and rewrite everything to kind of clean it all up. Keep doing everything inside parentheses. 25 plus 12 is 37. We'll bring down our minus 15, and then we're going to add, and then we're going to, for the sake of space, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So now we just have some integer operations here to do. So we have our, it's 20, sorry, negative 20. So we have negative 20 and a positive 37. That gives us, when we add those two together, we are left with 17 minus 15. When we simplify that, it gives us an answer of 2. So now we're going to go ahead and evaluate number 7. So 7 is just C plus A times B. So let's go ahead and fill in our values here. So C is negative 6 plus, and then A is negative 2. I always like to put these in parentheses so I can keep the negative signs nice and neat so I can see what's going on here. And B is equal to 5. So let's go ahead and do multiplication first before addition. So we have negative 2 and a positive 5 is negative 10. And we're going to bring down our addition sign and negative 6. So we're left with negative 6 plus a negative 10 equals negative 16 as our final answer. So here we have question number 8. We have A times, and then in parentheses we have C minus B. So let's go ahead and fill in these values here. So A would be negative 2 times, and then on the inside we have negative 6 minus 5. So now let's go ahead and solve using order of operations. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch our subtraction sign to addition, and the opposite of positive 5 is negative 5. So we have negative 6 plus negative 5 is negative 11 times our negative 2. When we multiply these together, negative times negative is a positive. So we're left with positive 22 as our final answer. Now we have just, for question number 9, we have C plus 5A. So we have C is equal to negative 6. So let's go ahead and replace that. plus 5 times negative 2. Order operations, 5 times negative 2 is a negative 10, plus a negative 6. When we add those together is negative 16. So for the last part of your notes here, what we have, when substituting negative numbers, put parentheses around the replacement value. So here we have if a is equal to negative 2. So the way this will look, so we have negative a. So what we do is we have our negative sign, and then we're inside parentheses, we're going to replace a. So what this will equal is a will be equal to negative 2. And then we need to simplify. So we have a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So negative a would just equal 2. So what about a squared? So if we put a in parentheses, so let's go ahead and do negative 2 squared. And when we do that, negative 2 times negative 2 would equal a positive 4. And last but not least, if we had negative a squared, so let's go put that in parentheses. So we have negative 2 squared. So let's go ahead and solve for our exponent first here. So we're just going to focus right here on our exponent. And so we have negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then we have the opposite of positive 4 would give us an answer of negative 4.